Hello, beautiful people. Hope you're having an amazing day. You are a star like this beautiful sun. Don't let anybody dim your light. Today, I'm going to share with you some disclosure on UFOs, okay? Why they're exposing themselves constantly, right? And some of the stories that I've had, my interactions, and some other stories as well that I've heard, and what it means in this time of age, right? What important message can we get out of this? What can we learn from the beings from outer space, right? Out of the dome, whatever you want to call it. Before we get started, make sure you add us on the socials, okay? Daniel John Allen, okay, on Snapchat and Instagram. TikTok as well, Daniel J. Allen, for more funny content. And for guides, programs, and services, check out danieljohnallen.com. Now, I've had a few encounters over the last couple of years. I've shared my stories on this quite a while ago, early on my YouTube journey. And today I'm going to share with you 3 of them. Very vaguely, they're very quick encounters. And usually they occur when I'm much more open and I'm much more receptive, not just to my environment around me, but above as well. And you're not really looking as well. That's when it usually happens, right? So the very first one, I was Uber driving in the northern parts of Sydney. It was in the evening. I was with a passenger. She was in the front, and we noticed an orb just move very so slowly and then disappear. We both looked at each other thinking, what was that? You know, it could have been anything, right? It could have been a drone. It could have been a rocket ship. It could have been, who knows, just some laser. We don't know. But at the end of the day, it's still an unidentifying flying object, right? So that was the first one. The second one was, I was training a client at a park, open, right? No clouds in the sky, and he was laying down, this client of mine, and he's doing an exercise, and he's looking above, right? And we both noticed there's an object just kind of sitting there, just just chilling really high, above, you know, where most planes would kind of fly through, right? Imagine the plane's flying here, the UFO would have been so much further out. And we noticed it was like slowly going away, right? But it didn't get any smaller. And you know, you would think maybe it was a balloon or maybe it was a satellite dish. But the moment 10 seconds later, when we looked away and looked up, it disappeared, right? It didn't look like it was going away, or it was just sitting there. And then a moment later, it just disappeared, right? So that's another interaction of mine. And then the other day, as I'm driving, again, the northern parts of Sydney, I noticed there was an object kind of on an angle, just going like this, right? And it was very shiny. It looked triangular like this, right? It could have been a military plane. It could have been a regular plane, but it was like this. It was very shiny. It was reflecting the sun, right? And it was going like this, and then it just disappeared. Now, of course, I'm not saying I've interacted with aliens or that these could be aliens in the UFOs or the flying objects, right? Or the planes or whatever it is. But there seems to be a common theme from what I've heard and the stories that I've also heard as well, right? People have noticed orbs. Sometimes they even in the military, but more particularly in the US military, there's been a lot of cases, a lot of whistleblowers have come out and they've noticed these objects, right? When they're testing their planes, when they're guiding pilots, when they're training the pilots, they'll see objects like this, right? Just flying through, right? Flying through so much faster than any technology that they have, right? And you'll see more like in the Navy, for example. A lot of people in the Navy come out with stories like they saw this orb like this, or like a pill, right? Like a blimp. And it's just hovering, and it's glowing. It's glowing, and then it just disappears, right? So a lot of these people come out with these stories, and we still wonder why, right? If there are aliens, if they do exist, why haven't they come? Why aren't they here interacting with us? Why aren't they here to, you know, help us advance our technologies, help us to become more intelligent, right? To help us, you know, make the world a better place. Or maybe we're like pests to them, right? Maybe we're just not up to their level, or we're like little insects, right? We're not gonna tell an insect, hey, let's be more human, because an insect can only be as much as an insect. You know what I mean? So the reason why, okay, this is coming from the universe, the reason why aliens won't interact with us, well, at least the mass society, right? The masses, right? They're probably interacting with a lot of cases, right? Of people saying that they've come across aliens in military bases, right? Face on, like what you would see in Men in Black. Men in Black is another story, right? Men in Black are these people, just quickly, Men in Black are these people who, right, come out, and their job literally is to tell you that you don't know nothing, and you don't, if you made an encounter, you saw nothing, right? And they'll make sure of that, because what they'll do is, right, they don't look too humanoid, right? They don't look too humanoid. What they'll do, their job is to keep your mouth shut. Because if more people know and understand, what do you think would happen to society? What do you think would happen to the masses? A lot of people would freak out. A lot of people would be overwhelmed. A lot of people would not know how to live, because we think we're the most intelligent species on the planet, right? We think we're the most advanced beings, right? But we're not. We live in a backward society. We're killing animals. We're destroying animals. We're overly destroying environments, right? We can do this consciously, but we're destroying the Amazon. We're destroying the sea with all this plastic and all this toxicity. We're overeating the animals. We're creating so much pollution. We're just destroying one another, right? And this is a great reflection on how we treat ourselves. How we're treating the planet is how we're treating ourselves. How are we feeding ourselves, right? How are we speaking to ourselves? Why do we still have wars? Not walls. Why do we still have wars about resources when there's enough to go around? When there's enough to go around, right? More so the food, right? If you went vegan, well, not if you went vegan, but there is enough resources around the world to feed everybody over and over again for 50 years. But the direction that we're going, right? We are over consuming, right? We're living so much in a consumeristic society through fast fashion, through convenient food, right? Through takeaways, through getting more and more technology like our phones and electric cars. All these things are destroying the planet. Now I use these things as tools, right? I use convenience as a tool, but not my everyday life, right? I try and minimize my life. I try and be more conscious of what I'm allowing into my body, what I'm allowing into my mind, how I speak, what words do I speak into existence, right? What world am I creating? That's the main reason why they won't interact with us, because we're not ready. We're not ready to go to that next level, right? We're still caught up in the 3D. We're still caught up in our attachments. We're still caught up in the old ways. We're still caught up with trying to compete with one another. We're so caught up with all this illusion, right? All of this fantasy, right? When we could just put our swords down and say, hey, how can we integrate the new earth? How can we live in a better place? How can we be more kind to one another? How can we live more life with compassion, right? That's the disclosure. This is what they don't want you to know, especially those in power, right? Especially the elite. You're the elite. You are the one in power. You are the one who holds, right, the key to changing this whole world, to changing this life, by eating more foods from nature, right? By having more respect for one another, by allowing yourself to put the sword down and say, hey, you know what? The time is now, and we've got to make a change. We've got to create that change in the world, right? We've got to make that change within ourselves, right? By, not looking so much at our differences with one another, right? By being more conscious, by being more aware, by living more life in love, right? You were born to love. I met a beautiful woman the other day, and a tattoo on her chest, right? And it said born to love. And that really resonated with me, especially with the love heart of here, and my mushroom trip the other day. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Wild Mushroom Trip number 10. The mushrooms told me the highest truth the highest truth is love. Love is the highest truth. Compassion is what we need the most right now, right? And the only way we're gonna do that is we stop living in our ego, stop being so selfish, and stop taking all the time. We've gotta stop fucking taking all that. We can go visit other planets. We can go see the world, see the universe, go see the extent of the galaxy. But that starts with us. How are we gonna share this planet without getting it destroyed, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't need, Gaia doesn't need us. Mother Earth doesn't need us, right? She doesn't need us. We need her, right? And we're not gonna be any longer. We're gonna see the world collapse more and more, right? We're seeing the system collapse. We're seeing more people wake up, right? And, you know, if we don't wake up to ourselves, if we don't come together, if we don't unify, what do you think is gonna happen, right? We're not living in symbiosis with our environments. We're gonna get destroyed because we're destroying ourselves. Gaia is a part of ourselves. Gaia, the planet Earth is a mirror of ourselves. The more we destroy ourselves, the more we're destroying the planet, right? So that's the disclosure, guys. I wanna know, have you had any encounters, right? Before we finish, I'll show you one quick story. So before I started to experience these things and hear more stories about it, there was one particular story that I heard. This was very well known, right? There was a family that went to the bush, right? Past the mountains, west side of Sydney, right? Just went camping. And the mother went to go take a piss, right? So she went into the bush and they're waiting for the mother, right? The father's like, okay, she's taking her time, she's taking too long. And he went to go look for her. Couldn't find her, he comes back, gets a phone call from a hospital, right? From way up in another place, in another state, right? Or another region, in another city. And they're saying, hey, we've got your wife. She's in the hospital, she's really hurt. Within moments, like within minutes. And turns out she was abducted by an alien, right? And of course, a lot of these stories, you know what happens? They want to investigate the insides. There are plenty of alien species. I don't have all the info, you should go check it out. Check out UAMN TV. They've got so much insight on different species of alien races. But again, they had a look on the inside. Check out the Netflix documentary as well. There's one on where they follow this guy who had a metal bar. A lot of these people, when they get abducted, there's a metal bar that sits like a little rod, and it's kind of a way to kind of monitor these, or like these animals that we are, like the way we do with like certain fish or birds, right? We put a little thing, see where they're going, and a lot of people, they say when they got this rod, these things follow them. And in that documentary on Netflix, I don't remember what it's called. If you know, let us know. But what happens is that they follow, and throughout the documentary, people were being skeptical, like, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? And right when they were about to give up, never give up, right when they were about to give up, what do you know? The UFOs appear, right, at a distance, and they zoom off. So let me know, have you heard any stories? Have you had any interactions? I know I've got way more stories when it comes to multidimensional beings, right? Shadows particularly. For some reason, I can see them, especially when I put myself in a very low vibrational state. They love that shit. But yeah, let me know, have you had any encounters? Do you know any stories? Has anyone in your family or friends seen any of those stuff? Leave a comment down below. If you've got any questions, right, add us on the socials, Instagram and Snapchat. Again, check out the TikTok, Daniel J. Allen, for more funny content. And if you need guides, programs, and services, check out danieljohnallen.com, where I help you ignite the warrior within and unleash the beast. All right. I appreciate you. Much love. Stay woke, blessed. Well, stay woke, blessed. And now, guys, peace out. See you in the next video. I want to hear about it. Let us know. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button if you want to see more videos like this. Let's get talking about this, because, you know, a lot of people are too afraid to really, you know, say that these could exist, right? Like giants. Did giants exist, right? Let me know. Appreciate you. See you in the next video. Peace out.